Well, hello everybody, and welcome to this week's edition of MBTV News. We bring you a few links, highlights here of what's going on in the world of virtual worlds and immersive spaces online. And my name is Mal Burns, and I'm joined here by my colleague James Atloud. Welcome, James.
Oh, thank you, Mel. Here we are again.
Here we are again, indeed
Good
we are.
times.
And today, let's not forget again, it's Sunday the 19th of November of the year 2023. Um, get that right for once. And yeah, man, that's about it, really. We're going to look through some brief news. It's going to be quite a short show. In fact, I'm rather hoping that these shows will get a bit shorter just to bring you the main headlines. And bar a couple of links, all the posts this week are really just news sites that are giving their own particular roundups. Uh, the main news, I suppose, though I haven't got a direct link for it, is the farcical events that seem to be going on at OpenAI, where they sat the CEOs. He's the guy who's been turning up around the world, being
Yeah.
the AI expert. And within a few hours, they think they're taking him back again. And it's not quite sure what's going on. It feels like it was an attempted takeover bid by the board, and whether it was the part of the board that are pursuing the ideology of OpenAI, or whether it's a part of the board that are actually hunting for money
Hmm.
in their pockets. I don't know, but the board aren't actually paid, so I don't see what the advantage they had there. It is strictly a sort of mission statement type, and the board is there to preserve that. So
Say,
exactly
Mel,
what it, yeah.
I have a terrible thing to ask. It seems that maybe your lips aren't on.
My lips,
Your
my
lips.
lips aren't on. Oh my gosh, canolypy,
Well, I know
as they
lips are
say.
important to the aesthetic
Yeah,
of our program.
lips are most important to me. It's not as though I've got my COVID mask on or anything, is it? Oh, there we are.
There we
It
go.
seems I'm flapping again. Thank you.
Yep.
How could
Do,
I
do you have the other
possibly?
animation? That one's so repetitive.
Yeah, I've got to. Yeah, there's that one. I know. Well, yeah, I'm flapping anyway. That would do for now.
Okay.
Change it. A bit different for every show, But I do want my flaps on. Yeah. I've actually got footage of me flapping my lips that runs silently for about 60 minutes, just in case I ever want to overdub myself. Anyway, that's beside the point. We're letting in people in on a trade secrets there, aren't we?
Yep.
Right. Okay. So I've forgotten what I was doing. Have I started? Yes, I did start. Anyway, the links. Oh yeah. We're going to be quite a short show. I always say that, and it tends to be long, but I'm trying to condense the show a little bit because often all we're doing is directing you to other sites anyway, which is most of the reading thing. Anyway, just to get on with it, get on with it. My first screen I've got up is actually one of our favourite sites. We go there every week. We've even got a sound effect for him. It's the Scarred Ghost.
Yeah.
Indeed. His real name is Anthony Vitillo, but he really likes to be known as the Scar Ghost, really. So his site is scarredghost.com, SKARREDGHOST.com. And that is a permanent site. He produces this every week, and it's not just a ghostly Halloween thing or anything like that. It's a genuine news site, and he looks at what's been going on during the week. This one's dated November 14th, which obviously is about I think it was Tuesday this week he got it up. There's the guy himself posing in one of his contraptions. I don't know which one it is. James is the expert on helmets,
That
but
would be your Quest 3.
that's a Quest 3.
That's,
Okay, that's
yep.
why it's got three knobs on the front.
Sure,
See?
3 knobs on the front. I love it.
Yeah, okay, three knobs for Quest 3. And obviously a thumbs up from Tony. Right, Meta and Tencent are bringing the Quest to China. This is a rather odd one. Presumably, I don't know whether it's American export business or whatever, but apparently Tencent, of course, is a Chinese company, so it seems that Meta have to use Tencent to bring their device into China, where they can't do it in their own right, so to speak. And it won't be the Quest 3. but a special cheaper version of some of the one Quest, maybe $200 Quest 3 Lite. It says there. So I suppose that is sort of news. It amazes me sometimes that we hear about the great evil of China and everything else like that, but business seems to carry on as normal. It's just semantics whether you supply them to a third company which is owned by China or not. Still the technology is still going over there, and equally, I suspect America is still importing help from China as well. So it's very hard to get out of deals once you've set them up there, really. Anyway, moving on. Samsung may have a headset in H2 20. Does that mean quarter two? I presume it means the second quarter of 24. Um, H2, it should be Q2, shouldn't it?
Yeah,
No,
it's wild.
anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, bit of an odyssey that. Okay, it's half, right? Second half of 24. That's what it is. So, why,
Very
why not this
unconventional, right?
third quarter or something, please?
Right.
Right. Okay, they are planning, or we are told, to produce about 30,000 units and just to gauge the interest and ramp up production if it's positive. So, I mean, Samsung are a very good company. It's like videotapes and all electronics. At the moment, somebody has something that they don't have, they make their own version. They were the first to come up with a phone that rivaled the iPhone. Not that anything can really rival the iPhone, of course, but you know what I mean. Second best as opposed to bottom of the ladder. And equally as expensive as things like Apple too. So they say here that the headset looks to be arriving a bit late and that they're already chasing the Vision Pro. So Apple will probably win the first round, as they usually do. So I mean, I would say for sure that the impetus for Samsung to be doing something is because they've seen what Apple are doing and leading the way, so to speak. Okay, Pico is committed to offering top-notch services. Well, would you be a customer of them if they offer bottom-notch services? I don't know. And wait, is that the notch in the middle of the screen? I don't know. Sorry, I'm being facetious here. Okay, Meta Horizon may have improved. I did read somewhere that I think Horizon is a like virtual interface in the helmet, and I did seem to remember.
It's a virtual world now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that they've merged Horizon with some other one or something, so the two are now.
They're working on it. Yeah, they're trying to. They're
Right.
going slow
Uh,
though.
Talking of working on it, I don't know why. I got a Zoom feature happening here of its own accord. What is going on? Okay, sorry, that's what I want. Okay, XR Wheat Peak. Oh, you know what I think happened? That's what happened. Sorry, we lost the display view. We were seeing a website, which obviously doesn't look too good on TV, but never mind. Okay, so news worth a mention. Spatial has pivoted to social gaming. That's Spatial IO. I always thought they were sort of pitched as social, but the emphasis is gaming too, of course, rather than virtual world. More news on the Vision Pro. Yeah, if you want to read it, you can actually go to Scarghost and do that. I mean, there's actually genuine developer news coming out from Apple, but also the temptation of a lot of these things is more news. We need some Apple news. What do you mean there's none? We'll make some up. Okay, Quest 2 gets discounted in favour of the 3 thing we saw earlier, I guess. Quest 2 Quest 3, that one we saw above, may still be sold at a loss. Interesting.
I think that's a guarantee that it's sold at a loss.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Meta has already invested 46 billion on the metaverse, or their idea of a metaverse, I guess. Sony equipped glasses can perform full body tracking. Researchers at Cornell University have got sonar sensors on the thing. Steam VR Festival is back. Steam VR is not the same as the Stream Deck. It's Steam Deck. It's a bit like a portable gaming thing that you can obviously use to access games and some virtual worlds too. Um, Yeah, I think we're okay there. Okay, and as you can see, there's a lot of quick little things at the bottom there. But anyway, if you want to look up that, you want to go to scarghost.com, SKARREDGHOST.com. And if you go there tomorrow, today being a Sunday, if you go there tomorrow or Tuesday, you'll probably find a new one. But you can always read the old ones too. Right. Okay. So another link here, of course. When we there we are. Yeah, what are behaving funny here today. Right, Spatial Beats. This is Charlie Fink's earlier in the week roundup that you find at arinsider.co, ARINSIDER.co. And they usually have a reprint now of his Forbes one at the end of the week, which we'll probably get to in a minute. Oh, yeah, actually, it's the next one, in fact. So if you don't get through to Forbes, you can always try arinsider.co. But this one is actually genuinely at arinsider.co. And oddly enough, OpenAI, when this was written, it was before the farce of OpenAI's CEO disappearing and coming back. They unveiled earlier in the week a range of new features, upgrades, and price reductions that will strongly influence the developer of a new category of software. Blah 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 blah. Really, and yeah, it's also technical details. If you're into AIs and whatever, that's well, some information about the product here, really, as opposed to later in the week when information about the CEO took over the headlines, should we say? Um, AI startups in Germany raising a lot of money. The AI pin is here, but this is not actually new. But it's hard to tell if this is a new iPhone, but the battle of personal AI chatbots is on. The idea of these little clips that you wear on your label that are actually an AI that walks around with you and can understand you, you can talk to it and it talks back. They're saying maybe in the future it will be the future of the iPhone. I think more importantly, the issue is the future per se, and how long will our interfacing with computers still rely on screens? I think for many things, like walking around in a virtual world, you either want a screen or, if you can stand the headache, put a helmet on. But, if you're just walking down the street and want to call somebody, maybe the days when you just talk to a label on your shoulder and then the phone rings on your earphones, and. But if you want a voice, a video conversation, you're going to have a screen of some sort, bar holography. Anyway, that's the future, and the future is not here. Although there are a couple of blogs that actually say the future is here, but that's beside the point. Right, layoffs at Pico. Yeah, there was a thing about Pico a few minutes ago on the other site. Now they've this piece has to do with their layoffs and everything. Spatial expanding into games. AI lip dubbing puts words in your mouth. The number of people using the chat API and the other APIs. There's looking at product hunt. If there's 50 new products advertised a day, then the 40 of them are actually just people coming up with interfaces for the API of the chat API or whatever. Anyway, this was another one. The idea that AI can dub your lips and put words in your mouth. Okay, Inworld AI have announced a multi-year co-development partnership with Xbox, and it was quite interesting actually that when the Microsoft feature heavily in arrangements with OpenAI, and of course they were the first people. They apparently knew nothing about the board sacking the guy, so they were taken back a bit. It's a funny old world where something can happen overnight. It affects Microsoft, and they don't even know about it. But the landscape is shifting, as they say. Rec Room, I love Rec Room. They've unleashed the Ninja Turtles. I'm not really at all interested in that sort of gamey thing. Although Rec Room itself is sort of, I think it sort of qualifies a bit as a virtual world. It's like something like World of Warcraft. People used to go in there as easily as Second Life, but they used it for meetings. They didn't use it to shoot down spacecraft or whatever else you're doing there. Maybe they did both, but I mean, you get the idea. Okay, advert for their podcast there. So that's that. So, time to move on to the next item. As I say, we've got very few today. In fact, I think it's about 4 more. Okay, this is at Forbes.com. Oh, don't we love that? Right. Okay.
Pay up.
Bypass there. Right. Octrix announces new AR headset for the vision impaired. This isn't Charlie's column. This is actually an article by him. And I picked on this one because, I think this, for all I know, I'll be going blind in about another year or something. So the idea that, one may have to spend one's twilight years in a helmet does not really appeal to me. But if my vision got seriously impaired, then maybe that is a solution for people in that situation. Anyway, it's a California startup called Octrix. Irvine, in California. That's the. Well, I think we know a few people there actually. Yep. Anyway, this. I have no idea why my. Oh, I know what it is. I've got a cable that's interfering with my Zoom knob. There we are. Okay. I should hand this function over to James. He's the one for the knobs. Right. I'm trying to avoid my knob here. Okay. That seems to be a visualization of the thing anyway. And you can pre-order it at ocutrx.tech.com. You can get to this article at Forbes.com. And as I said, if you go to ARinsider.com, I think they usually reprint his pieces from Forbes anyway. Yeah, but it looks interestingly. It's obviously been designed for people with fading vision and other such problems. So that's good. That's good. Okay, that's the CEO. There's nothing else here. It's just an article on that particular company. So moving on. Big XR news. The usual big XR news. This is from xrtoday.com. Once a week at least. xrtoday.com. And / mixed dash reality if you really want to jump a bit closer to the page. As I mentioned, following my Mastodon links via Twitter and other places is a good way to get to the actual articles I'm talking about here. What I'm reading out is usually going to just get you to a front page, but you take your pick really. Right. So Microsoft Ignite, Snap, Meta, and Valve. Okay. And NVIDIA too. Nothing like putting a few names up to get people interested. Right, Ignite took place. Well, it's actually over. It's in Seattle, and it's a Microsoft sort of dev conference of sorts. In January next year, avatars and spaces will be made available for general use through Mesh, which again, it's a suite of no-code tools and integrated Unity features that will allow enterprise customers to create bespoke immersive spaces for employee events, training, etc., etc. And Microsoft will be behind all that. Amazon has formed a partnership with Snap to conduct a trial for online shopping with the messaging app and maybe even the glasses, because I think of Snap as those AR glasses. Yeah, leveraging services for smart glasses. Snap has a daily user base of 363 million, so presumably that's worthy of making a deal. What else we got? Meta, of course, again. This is all repeats of what was in the other posts very vaguely. And mark that as unread. Then we move to. Didn't want to delete. Remove item. There you go. Right. This week in XR. Well, this, of course, is Charlie Forbes. Charlie. Oh God!
Let's have dinner with Charlie Forbes.
Charlie Forbes at Think magazine. Yeah, so Charlie Fink, of course, again, this time at Forbes. Again, AO Insider may be able to provide the text, even if it's a day later or something. Um, Breaking news by this time was that OpenAI CEO has stepped down, but it's not that up to date because he's now back, apparently. But it's if this was a virtual world, we call it a yo-yo grid, but it seems to be CEO in, CEO out, CEO in, CEO out. We won't get rude, but a lot of in out going on here. Otherwise, he is being. I won't go into that. Tick tock, tick tock. Right, character AI is in the money. Um, Another horse in the race to your personal AI. And character AI, let's use this chat with virtual versions of popular celebrities, or you can create your own, which presumably means you can talk to yourself. But does it have a virtual world sort of? Can you talk to your friends? That's the point. Or are you just going to be talking to a celebrity or yourself? I don't know.
It's quite fun. I've played that with my son,
Oh, you have?
and oh,
Oh,
it's a
right.
blast. Yeah, you can.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and
Is it what we would call a social network? In other words, you invite and meet your friends with it, or is it very much just
no,
an AI?
it's just an interface to an AI bot, but it knows many characters. So you can say something like, "Would Superman beat Spider Man in a fight?" And it says, "Well,
Oh,
I
right.
think that Superman has other world." It's very thoughtful about what its replies are, and it knows all these characters. So,
Oh, okay.
yep,
And it's just called Character AI.
correct.
Is it a plugin for the browser, or is it a standalone app?
It's a website. So you go to the website and
Right.
sign up and say, "Okay, tell me about superheroes."
All right. I've actually downloaded. I've downloaded one on the Mac here, but it's totally self-contained. It doesn't connect to the internet unless I
Mm,
want to update data. And that's quite useful because I can type almost any question and it
yeah.
gives me an answer. They do say it upgrades, but it doesn't compete with the multi um, gigabit crunching and stuff that the public ones do. But it's nice to have a local one that kind of learns from the questions you ask it, and can go online if to upgrade the program to get more information, even if it isn't live while you're using it,
Yeah.
which I feel safer with, to be honest. Right, okay, so venture capitalists may give them even more. Okay, remind me at some point when we're off air for me to go and check that out, actually,
Yeah. Okay.
Character AI.
Yep.
If you say it's fun, I will believe you. At least until I've seen it. Right, MetaQuest going to China. This is all the same stuff we had here. Atlas raising money for generative AI platform. Is anything not AI these days? I think those definitely are. Oh, yes, it's another. Not safe for work AI. Oh, gosh golly. Who would have believed it? Surely they're not using AI for anything naughty or not safe for work. Why would they do that? It's like the old thing, isn't it? If there's a new thing going that sets the industry, the first people to get into it, as a rule.
That's right.
Right, okay, so scrolling down there, there's nothing much else that the other roundups didn't cover. So you'll find that at Forbes.com and possibly AR Insider too at a later point. Right, remove that. And the final actual link that I'm including today. This is xrtoday.com, xrtoday.com. And it's a feature article. It's really looking at the best virtual reality accessories for deeper immersion. Now, literally, these are literally accessories to go with your helmet or your visor, to be polite, if it's a bit more lightweight. Um, and well, there are kind of a few. Now, I don't think this. Of course, I've got a reader page up here, and it's not profusely illustrated. Of course, I think the website actually did have quite a lot more picture. Anyway, they talk about the value of the market, which is pretty huge, and then they look at what you can get. I mean, things like virtual reality cameras, and of course, the new iPhone can actually film video for virtual reality for their helmet. Even though you can't get the helmet yet, you can film your video for it, 3D video basically. Um, so various types of virtual reality cameras, then innovative VR controllers. Um, An example of that to me might be something like leap motion, that you can flap your hand out and it creates the movements you need. And increasingly, it can be facing inward or outward. So you've got things that can sense your face underneath the helmet, and others that actually look out from the helmet. So it depends on what and how you want to track things. Innovative tracking sensors, technologies, etc., etc. Quite a lot of stuff. And controllers shifting the infrared LEDs for tracking movement, etc. They're just telling you a little bit how it works there. Virtual reality accessories for spatial sound. Well, of course, spatial sound is the big thing. Sort of, if you're a user of Second Life, it's already been there for about 10, 15 years. And advanced spatial sound actually started with High Fidelity, which is Philip Rosedale's offshoot for, another project which is came later than Second Life. It still exists as a spatial sound company, even though their virtual world itself doesn't. So spatial audio is becoming quite a big thing. Not to be spatial audio is not surround sound, by the way. The surround sound is a receiver type thing for the room. Spatial audio is the a presence of sound that includes distance and all sorts, and it moves as you position yourself. So you position yourself in space, and the audio coming into you changes. Surround sound is a fixed sound that actually gives you spatial effects. Right, many maybe headsets have built-in sound technologies. It said, pointing out that Meta has partnered with Razer. Razer are a good company for high performance audio. 4 VR trackers, sensors, and base stations. Well, if you imagine, like you've got your router in a room or in a building, really. If you've got a base station that is actually talking to all these sort of accessories, and the interface with your phones, they allow you to smart stuff can open your doors, switch your lights on, and things like that. But these same kind of sensors can possibly sort of read cues from you as you move around or change rooms and stuff like that. It can track you and also sense your gestures and things. So many headsets have built-in tracking too. Haptic gloves and suits. This is the heavyweight stuff. You want to put on a glove or a full-body costume suit, which may or may not, of course, be. There we go. I always think of the old lycra suits, which are very lightweight and have sort of nodes on them. But a lot of the suits these days are much heavier and things, but presumably have a greater interaction with your body. They quote sense gloves and things like that. And virtual reality accessories for new sense stimulation. The most obvious of these are people who are working on the sense of smell. It's a bit like, we went from printers that print on paper to 3D printers that print in 3D with the right, you can have a plastic model if you use substrates to make plastic, or I think you can do sort of imitation wood and all sorts of things now. But the idea of something that can create smell is very much the same principle of printing. You've got 4 inks and you mix them up to get the colours you want. It's not that simple, of course, but the aromatherapy side of the sense of smell is pretty much like that. If you can imagine, let's say, having 4 or maybe 6 scents, they're actually fairly neutral, but they interact with each other to create the smell you want. So maybe your machine is there and it's just giving off a fairly neutral smell, but then you walk into a virtual room, or you walk out the door into a garden full of flowers, and then suddenly the smell generator will mix up the chemicals to make you smell roses or grass or things like that. So that would be coming for Breeze. So that's
James doesn't need that.
nah. multi-sensory mask, sort of, it's just an add-on for your helmet. Of course, this assumes that your helmet leaves you enough room to put a multi-sensory mask on your face. Yes, not a VR chairs and treadmills. Well, of course, we've covered those a lot. They're not really new, but they are. You just suddenly realise reading this sort of thing just how many accessories there are. And then other ones that are for user comfort, which is actually probably should be at the top because the VR sickness and all the things that have plagued the helmet land since the beginning have mostly been to do with comfort. The headset's weight on your face, the way light leaks in that corrupts what you're seeing in surround, and yeah. So they're talking about custom solutions with memory foam and other things. Custom prescription lenses. Well, if I ever get a helmet, I'm going to need those now. That is for sure. That is, of course, a good thing. I mean, basically, instead of consumers wearing your glasses underneath the helmets, then you can actually configure the lenses in the helmets to match your prescription. So putting a helmet on would also be like putting a different pair of glasses on at the same time. You wouldn't have to have both, which is, I think, rather useful. VR accessories for battery power. I guess this is it's like smartphones really. That some of the cheaper ones run out of power after 2 hours or something. So you tend to carry around power banks in your pocket so that you can top up on the go without having to come home and charge it or whatever. So same with helmets basically. Which even Meta's Quest Pro only works for 1 or 2 hours at a time. It's not quite the 24-hour smartphone market yet. Okay, covers, cases, maintenance tools, and exploring the best virtual reality accessories. And oh yeah, so that's it. 11 categories there, which is quite a lot. Okay, so that's about it for the main links. Let's move across now to a little bit of video, basically. I've got to find the right place for it. As usual, I'm spacing out here. There we are. There we are. Now, I've got two clips here, actually, very quickly. One is this week's M7 Innovation Brief that we've been looking at for most weeks recently, and the other is about experiencing mixed reality in bed. This is about technology, not the content. I should hasten to add. So we'll start with Pillow. Pillow, come on, Pillow.
Are you happy? Or are you saying you are for me? Don't need to be that way. If you trust me, I'll let you see. One thing's for sure. I'm helplessly in love. Can't lie about that. If you trust me, I'll let you see.
I have to interrupt and ask James whether he'd go for that. I noticed it's the three knob Meta helmet in the demo there. Would you take it to bed and?
No, I think I'd probably be more inclined to sleep in bed. It's just a habit I
I
have.
think.
Yeah.
I know. I've still got. I'd never put it on, of course, but I got a little projector thing in the bedroom which has cartridges. And the cartridges go round. It projects lights onto the ceiling that resemble like the Milky Way or something. But it's actually quite a cute one because it has different cartridges for different views, kind of thing. And the ambience, I think, is quite nice. But I wouldn't actually want to wear a helmet on into bed with me to get that effect. So I think you're right there. stick to the old-fashioned screens if you have or something.
I don't even have a TV in my bedroom. That's just not right.
Well, oddly enough, I do, but I don't think I've hardly ever switched it on or used it.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those things, sort of. I'm too tired these days when I get to bed to want to watch something on
Right,
there.
right.
But I don't know, a TV that was in one room ends up in the bedroom, and then that. But they don't get thrown away; they just get moved around. Okay, this is the M7 innovation brief for this week. So it's just 3 minutes of new stuff that they're covering here.
Hello and welcome to another special edition on-site innovation brief. Today, we're coming to you from Duke University, where I'll be giving a lecture on AI, markets, and marketing. And I have not been on this campus since 2007 when I was at Jack Coombs Field competing against the Blue Devils baseball team. Fun fact, even though my FDU Knights were the Cinderella story of last year's March Madness, that year in baseball, we got destroyed by Duke. But today is going to be a win. Before I inspire young minds, let me give you the latest in media, technology, and innovation. 90 seconds on the clock. Let's do it. Let's talk AI and wearables. The details behind Humane's AI pin have been leaked, and they are something. It's $700 for the pin and $24 a month cellular plan via T-Mobile. The pin will supposedly act as your assistant, answering any question, summarizing your emails, taking phone calls, projecting information via a green laser that projects onto your hand. Is this the future? No. This is version 1 of a product desperate to capitalize on the AI craze. Rest assured, M7 will procure our pin and report back, but I don't even need it to tell you it won't deliver the massive value it's initially promising without an absolute ton of user input and data, customization, and UX sacrifices to make AI wearables work. Snapchat is adding ChatGPT to its AR lenses. At its annual Lens Fest, Snapchat announced the integration of AI in its AR development software. There's so much noise with this update, here's the signal. There are 330,000 developers working in Snap's AR ecosystem, and their AR lenses have been viewed by Snapchatters over 3 trillion times in the last year. That's a stat. Adding LLMs and generative AI tools to Snap's Lens Studio 5.0 beta in dev software is brilliant. It further democratizes creativity and brings even more people in. This isn't a silver bullet product update. It's yet another step in Snapchat's climb to become the best AR software on the market. Amazon Gaming is getting gutted. The tech giant is pulling a trifecta pullout, shutting down its gaming channel on Twitch, closing its game growth engine that helped game designers, and firing 180 people from the Amazon gaming division. The bigger story here, succeeding in gaming isn't easy. Sony, a titan of industry, just released a high-tech handheld gaming device that's getting destroyed by gamers in the trades. Companies like Amazon, Google, and Netflix, who want to ride the gaming wave and yield its profits, are quickly realizing they need to be much more strategic, smart, and focused on driving value for gamers, not just cashing the check of a wildly growing and engaged industry. Well, that's all the time that we have for the M7 Innovation Brief. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next week back in New York.
That was very professionally produced and very interesting, but when they have their host outdoors, it might help if they kept the microphones out of the wind. In case you were wondering,
Yeah.
that background sound was nothing to do with my retransmission. That was on the original there. A bit of a windy there for him, I guess. So that was that, and let's move to the final department, so to speak, and that is the links I put up during the week on my main Mastodon feed for long form videos, a bit like this show of our own. So working backwards from today, the F Reality podcast. It's like the VR Brotherhood Rises. This is a glorified, well, it's not as gold, it's a bit more than that. They cover a lot of stuff. Their focus obviously is more towards gaming than anything else, but virtual worlds and gaming share a lot of technologies and stuff. So there's a lot of overlap. So if you're interested in immersion online and stuff like that, this is a good place to go. I try and avoid clicking, but yes, I did think that was the case. This edition was actually 2.5 hours, although they do have about 10 minutes of coming soon intro, something else we were discussing earlier actually. So moving down to yesterday, we have This Week in XR. This is Charlie Fink, otherwise known as Charlie Forbes, featuring Dr. Linda Jacobson, Head of Marketing for Haptics. And
This episode of our This Week in XR pod.
As you can see, it's about 50 minutes long, this one.
Very likely, the vast majority of the
Charlie and his pals talking there, and I think, yeah, they bring her into the conversation a bit later on.
It was an interesting conversation going. She has a lot of really interesting history going back to Silicon Graphics.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so that was.
I can't say I'm that familiar with her name, but yes, well, what I did see of it did seem to be rather interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
So we're not here to play that for you. We're simply here to point you in that direction. But if you follow me on Mastodon, for example, which is where I'm projecting this view from at the moment, you can play it on the feed, or you can click through to YouTube or wherever else the video content comes from. It's just a way of me putting all the best videos of the week in one place. So if you have time on your hands, I usually include about a good 12 hours worth every week. I mean, that's only an hour, that one. Right, what was the next one? Yeah, this was yesterday too. This is Alchemy, not alchemy, but Alchemy. That's always a great name, that. Their founder, Devin Raymer, starts a new venture called Astro Beam. There's not much to say about this, except
For this episode of the VR Report, I speak with Devin Reimer. A decade ago, Devin was already blending humor into video games. Devin built Alchemy Labs with his then co-founder and developed classic hits like Job Simulator and the hilarious Rick and Morty VR game. We discuss his new venture, Astro Beam, and his remarkable journey from indie game dev to getting acquired by Google. Friends, Devin Reimer. Hey, what's up, Devin? How's it going, man? Doing great. Fantastic. Yeah, I'm super excited to talk to you today.
well, there again, I'll let you to it. That's another 50-minute one, but rather interesting, especially the fact that he's been brought up by Google before the thing has even started, really. So they've obviously seen something in that. No doubt we'll hear more about the actual Astro Beam project later. All right. Now, All Night, Augmented Reality Expo, basically. They have various nights all over the world, and I forget, this is Haptics again, in fact. This was on November 16th, so literally it's just a couple of days ago. I'm trying to remember where this one was. It may be from their main location. I think they're on the West Coast. It's not actually, the All Conference. It's just a particular All Night, and basically it's all about getting started with haptics. For those people who don't know, I should move along there.
I can tell without even touching it that it's a water bottle because the shape prevents my fingers from closing in farther around it.
And then eventually multi-user.
Yeah.
So really about this busy board, it actually helped us a lot.
I'm spinning through here just to give you a briefest of flavors.
It's like something that doesn't just press and make a sound, but actually stops, has a natural stop. But you don't want to just press all the way through the range,
So, I mean, haptics are very interesting because, as many of you know, I'm not the biggest fan of Helmet World, but there's a lot to, things like gloves, for example, or smart glasses and things that don't do the full job that a helmet does, but that you can use, to augment what you're doing without having to wear a helmet. So they can go with the helmet, or of course they can be adjuvant to the helmet, so to speak. Anyway, that was on Friday, so you find it all night. Another one, Into the Metaverse here. This is one of those shows that happens now and again, rather than a regular one. This is looking at Avatar Tech, and this is only 25 minutes, so be a bit more palatable. was a shorter version that I was going to show on here, but I figured I was worth posting the longer one here anyway. They had a fancy intro, but then they get round to
puppet, if you will, on your screen, whether it's representing you or whether it's representing somebody else. Actually, a whole range of possible game changers of possibilities are actually.
Again, all I can do is give you a hint, and I told you this was going to be a short show. My movie did start a bit late, so moving on quickly. VR download. This is, I think, James's favourite one when he's able to watch it. How did you see it this week?
Yeah, I did. It was good. Lots of topics. They always seem to dig up a lot of good amount of news. And most interesting, again, was the Samsung Google story. On the heels of Google denying any kind of partnership with Facebook for apps and integration. But looks like Google and Samsung are going to be good buddies in the future.
Just like they are with Apple too.
Yeah, right.
Google is actually paying Apple to be the search engine kind of thing. It's a bit, well, I don't know. It just says I'm right for being a search engine, really. There's too much snooping. So they're the ones paying for it, not making money out of it. That's the funny sort of flip on the head bit of that. Right, okay, always a very good show, those lots, actually. I mean, one of them's a Brit, well, sort of Brit, too.
Yeah,
so.
He's in London.
Is he? I thought he was in.
He used to be in Scotland, but now he's in.
I thought he was in Northern Ireland. Okay.
I thought it was Scotland. Maybe it was Ireland. Yeah.
Yeah, there's one of them was definitely in Ireland for a while.
Right.
Yeah. Well, digital nomads these days could be anywhere.
Moved up in the world. Right.
Yeah. Right, that was on Wednesday this week. Tuesday, Building the Open Metaverse is a regular podcast. This was actually, it was talking about AI motion capture animation, but also making it accessible. It's hard to sum up this, actually. Basically, their guest there is from Move AI, which is one of the new, AI companies, youngish British chap there. But a lot of the talk went into accessibility, and also the technical side of motion capture is what it is. You can't tell an AI to make a simulation of a motion capture. It would simply be another form of artificial video. But if the AI can calculate on the move, so to speak, as you're doing motion capture animation, so maybe you're wearing a bodysuit and you've got, say, 24 attachment points where your limbs join and everything else like that. If the AI is running concurrently with that, it may be able to multiply the virtual attachment points by a factor of 10. So you get some motion capture that's far more realistic than just the simple bodysuits we tend to have used for the last few years. Anyway, an interesting one, as I said. Next is Monday. This is quite interesting. It's quite long. I think this was either filmed in OpenSim or Second Life, but they don't actually. It's presented on the web as if it's a standalone thing to go with their virtual art group.
Is that the Peel Gallery?
Sorry?
The Peel Gallery?
No, I don't see. Welcome to the documentary video of the online group exhibition titled Art Noise, 4th edition, 2023. You will explore artworks in 3 different galleries by artists from all around the world.
Okay. It looked like something Avicon did.
Yeah, it looks like something that could be built in OpenSim or Second Life, and maybe was, and they've just filmed it and then branded it without giving what the platform is. Also, though, on Discord, I'm a member of a couple of art gallery worlds. They're like installations online when you can build your own art gallery with your own images, and people can log in and wander around. They adjust for that, but what they do is they allow you to collaborate with other artists. So in your gallery, you can put a door that takes people to another gallery you recommend and stuff. So if you're into art and viewing it in a 3D manner, that's very good too. I've gone and forgotten the name already. It's not one of those days. It's fading memory here. I'll forget to do the show one day. Right. And oh yeah, the last one was something that looks slightly familiar. Of course, it is the repeat of last week's show, which you can find this and all the back shows for MBTV News on Mal Burns Meta World channel at YouTube, and you can grab an RSS feed and a playlist version too if you want them. So that's it. That's it. I will now turn to James and ask him if he has any other thoughts or things before we call it a day.
No additional thoughts for me. Got a busy month coming up with Open Simulator Community Conference, and so I think we'll be talking about that in the next half hour. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, we in about half an hour we have our other program called the Inworld Review, which looks at arts and destinations in Open Simulator, or rather on the hypergrid, which is a system that allows Open Simulator worlds to merge together. You know, it's a bit like having a few hundred Second Lives all joined together kind of thing. We will be looking at that conference as part of that as we go. So, you will probably hear more about it here. I did actually have something else I intended to cover today, but I can't remember what it is. So I'm not going to go looking for it now. But it was connected with that. It's I do know what it is. I'll put it here too. It will be. We feature it on the Inworld Review. It's there is another virtual world we're very fond of, as well as Open Simulator Worlds, which is one of which is where we filmed this. Well, you pop into Second Life now and again. But also, let's find it if I can. Right, we looked at that one, didn't we? Yes. Here we are. Right. I do have a Open Sim or Independent Worlds feed. Basically, they've just had a major anniversary too, but they've also right. Where's the thingy? Okay. Let's quickly. This is a world called Science Space, and they've had a major update basically this week. I've lost that. Come on, where's the read review bit? Doesn't want to do it, does it? Never mind. Okay, quite big changes. They're giving everybody larger regions to use, and this actually is a size increase from 128 megabytes to, believe it or not, 2,048 megabytes. That's a big upgrade for free. With new realms of possibility for hosting regions and doing stuff. This is all for free users. More active regions to explore. You're no longer limited to one active region. You can manage up to 100, meaning you've got a vast canvas for creativity. More room for friends and visitors. The maximum number of users in a region has gone up from 10 to 200. This means you can have bigger gatherings, more interaction and livelier community. And universal XMPP login, which allows you to streamline your experience. It's a type of login that's secure for one thing, and it's available to all users, making it easier to connect and collaborate. As a result of this, there's a new limitation on commercial use. This is basically for consumer users. You can no longer use these worlds, the main science-based worlds, for commercial purposes. But of course they have their break room, which is their more specialized platform, which is actually designed for commerce and industry and things. And they recommend that commercial users transfer over to that. Also, they do say they'll refund any subscribers that have actually paid money for what is now becoming free. So they will refund money for anybody who's on a paid level. So they say it's a significant moment for science space, opening up even more possibilities for creativity and connection, and they're excited to see how the community will use the new tools. And if I click back on the blog, that's the update. Yeah, they've it was 17th of November. The other thing this week was their 7th anniversary. And our friend Adam Frisby, of course, did his keynote there, and this was really just a roundup of stuff. So, I mean, the 17th, 2 days ago, was the Actor anniversary. Adam was the first Avatar in Science Space, gosh golly. But apart from that roundup, some of the events, sort of continuing beyond that. So I couldn't help but put that one in there for you, since along with OpenSim, Science Space comes highly recommended. Oddly enough, the CEO of Science Space is one of the co-founders of OpenSim. So I mean, our connections there are pretty thorough, shall we say. Right, okay. So I asked James if he had anything else to say, and then I went and hijacked it, didn't I?
That's all right.
Yeah, I knew there was something else. I just couldn't think where it was for a second. I filed it under the other show, which you brought to my attention. Okay, well, we're out of here, folks. I hope some things that we covered today are of interest. Not quite the short show I thought it was, but sometimes only a few links generate interest and comment, don't they? Right, we'll be back same time, same place next week. Until then, it's bye from James.
Bye.
And bye from me. And we're out of here.